This is the first time I've been into a studio of yours in 10 years. I'm a bad friend, aren't I?
Other qualities. Coming to my studio is not one of them.
Oh, I've got other qualities.
Yes.
Like what?
Good sense of humour.
Yeah.
Yes. I can't think of anything else right now. But there is...
I've given you some good
You're kind. You're kind.
I'll let you tattoo whatever you want on me. I painted you a pigeon. That was shit, actually. I found a picture of it recently. I thought, poor Leyman. Yeah.
Well, I hate it.
We met through fashion, didn't we?
We did.
10 years ago.
It was at a return of the Root Boy exhibition at Somerset House. People we knew curated this exhibition and we were both in it. I think we were both feeling quite vulnerable and overwhelmed in that context of the opening.
You were standing in one corner, I was standing in the other corner.
I was suffering from hay fever.
You were really suffering from hay fever. You had your bandana over your face and I just thought you were doing it to look cool. And then when I went over to you and I said, I'm really awkward, I don't know anyone here. And then you said, can we be friends through this bandana?
Yes, that's the most honest way of trying to connect with people. That seems the most alien. And
it was so vulnerable and pure, just like, can we be friends? Caught me off guard, especially because we were in an event where there were lots of really cool, it was a lot of fashion people. We were brand new to London and it felt like really overwhelmingly cool to just have that question said to me was like a bit of a shock.
I've never been called rude. However, I've surprised many people, and I thought for a long time that it could be cultural differences between, I was born and raised in France, from a North African family, and then everything, is out there, and then we communicate with hands, and everything feels quite raw. And then England, where everything is actually dressed up and then walk around the subject without, tiptoeing, without trying to seem a certain way or hurt anybody, and then everything feels, layered in veils and nonsense.
I think you're the one person I know in my life that personifies je ne sais quoi.
Personifies je ne sais quoi. Okay, cool.
With your outfits. Hat collection, everything is just mad. But today this might be the most normal I've ever seen you.
I'm sort of in my uniform phase. I like this idea of uniform, and also it takes a lot of a lot less space to think about what you're gonna wear.
Get up and go.
I've got a few pair of 501 Levi's, black top, usually Uniqlo, vintage hat, or I like a hat. I like accessories.
But you know how I feel about your hats.
You like my hats?
They cover your hair. Your amazing hair.
Yes, my amazing hair is for private eyes only.
And then
Leyman shoes, Leyman loafers.
French brand.
Been buying shoes from them for 10 years, I think now.
And they've rocketed in price.
They're so popular now, but it's still really accessible. Okay. And they're good quality. I really like what the doctors prescribed you. I really like those orthopedic shoes. They look like they're good for you.
Yeah, nobody's ever said that about you. These are actually my favourite shoes currently.
Yes. And
you just destroyed them. They're from Vagabond. They're like if a ballet shoe had a baby with a boat shoe. And then this skirt we bought together because we went to the vintage market last week.
Yes.
And I bought this for 20 quid. It's vintage Aquascutum. And then this top is just COS, and then my sweater's Uniqlo as well. You've done, I would say, 50% of the tattoos on my body.
50?
Probably. We've got, no, maybe not. That's, no, okay, no. 25%. So I've got at least 5 from you, haven't I? I guess we bonded over art, really, didn't we? I've been lucky enough to see this evolution that you've gone through as an artist, because 10 years is a long time, really. I've got to see how your work's evolved. How would you describe your work to people?
I haven't been painting for that long. I've been painting since 2019, I think. That's when I was like, okay, I want to paint. Before it was more like silly illustrations. What I like to think that when I paint, I create sort of a window through that emotion. And then if you look at it and then it resonates with you, the painting is successful.
You've done your job.
I've done my job, yeah.
Because your work can be quite dark.
Yeah, I think it light up a bit, especially through the colours. But I quite like these sort of in-between spaces, you've got a figure that feels a bit eerie and, you might describe as dark, but you've got these bright colours, and then that puts you in a space where you sort of questioning how you feel. Also, I like this idea of a memory of what could have been, or a a dream you try to remember. So when you look at it, you so also in that space when you wake up to remember what your dream was about.
So you know that moment when you've just woken up? I describe it like this, like I haven't had time to put my rose-tinted glasses on for life. There's a moment in between waking up and setting my brain up for the day where this dream state is like a reality for me. I'm not ready for the idea of real life.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting space to be in, to tap into that. So like both of us have had quite a shift in career over the 10 years that we've known each other. Like when we met, I was working in
NHS?
universities and I was illustrating on the side. Then I went to the NHS,
right.
Saved up, quit my job and became a
influencer,
videographer. I know that was meant to be offensive and I'm not giving you the satisfaction. It's been quite nice to see each other grow because I think we've both come so far in the last few years.
I think, and also I remember like quite inspiring the way you make that decision, changing, you know, your life, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to focus on making films and videos, and that's going to be my career. And then you had a bit of money saved up, you bought a couple of cameras or whatever, and then that was it. And then you know there was a lot of changes in your life at the time, but there was like a feeling, a gut feeling that made you feel, okay, this is where I need to go.
Yeah.
And then you know you're doing really well, doing something you like. Go with what feels right, and then put all the love into it, and then that's what life is about, really.
We both were witness to how painful transitions were for us both. Roll with the punches that life threw at us. And I think when you give up yourself to life and you go, okay, I'm going to follow what I enjoy rather than like stick to the 9 to 5 or corporate or whatever that we are taught that we should do. I do think that when you put yourself out there like that, the lows are lower and the highs are higher. When we're in the careers and the industries that we're in, community means everything, and relationships and friendships and how we connect with people in the industry means everything. And so, you know, it's a lot to navigate. People think that being a creative is like the dream, but actually there's a lot to navigate in it.
Yeah, it's not just a curse, but it's definitely and I teach as well. I teach fashion design. I don't know if they're lucky. I give them quite a hard time sometimes. But what's important is to realize that, especially as a creative, there is an aspect of sacrifice.
There's a lot of sacrifice.
It's a lot of like physical and emotional and investment.
How do you get through it? Because sometimes I struggle feeling so much.
There's no other way. So even though it's a sacrifice, or it can feel like a sacrifice at times, it's the only thing that makes sense. And I think that's what being creative means.
So like, where do you see your artwork going in the next few years?
That's a shit question.
Is it? Somebody fire me. Oh wait, that's me.
Again, it's how I interpret
life,
the ambiguity of life. I'm very much in control of it. So if I see pain and suffering, this is what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
But if I see pain, suffering and optimism, then that's what it's going to look like.
I know you see me enough and you hate doing videos, so this was probably quite the experience to have to see me again.
No, this is nice. I don't have to hold your camera for once. No, I'm kidding. No, this was nice. I'm taking a piss, but I'm also really proud of you. Because I've seen the evolution, right? I've seen the states you were like a few years ago.
States I was in.
In a sense that you were done something that when aligning with, you know, the way you were seeing yourself and how you were projecting yourself, and then you found this path now. And it's nice to see.